guys, welcome back to my video series on decision making in Delphi. Today I will be introducing nested if statements as well as case statements. What is a nested if statement, or what is it used for? It is used for if you have a value that needs to be checked for multiple conditions. It differs from a compound expression that in this case we only have one value to check. So we have, for example, a mark that needs to be checked or I want to display the level that the mark corresponds to. There are 7 possibilities, level 1 to level 7, you're all familiar with that. And I have to check my mark, whether it's below 30, whether it's below 40, below 50, etc., etc. And depending on the result of that, I'll display the relating level. A case statement is a summary of a nested if statement. So I'm going to introduce both of them to you, and I hope you find this helpful. So I've prepared a form for you. Let me zoom in, where a user can enter a mark, and then I've got 2 buttons, level button and a case nested if and a case statement. So I'm going to code both of them. I've actually coded the nested if already, and I'm going to code the case statement for you because that's an entirely new concept, and I want to make sure that you understand each step of it. And then the level needs to be displayed. So let's have a look at our nested if statement. So I've declared variables iMark and iLevel, and I've initialized iMark. And then we have an if statement. If iMark is below 30, then our level is 1. Very important that we do this right. I can't say here if iMark is bigger than 0, because even a mark of 60 or 70 or 80 is bigger than 0. And a nested if statement works like this. As soon as the condition has been met, it stops the if statements or the nested if. So then it won't get to the level 4 or level 5 part of it. So we have to make sure that we do this correct. So we can either ask if iMark is bigger or equal to 80, then level 7, so we can do it the other way around, or we do it like this, we check if it's lower than 30, lower than 40, etc. So in this case, if it's lower than 30, and I'm adding a begin and end, just out of principle, it's not really needed. If I would remove this begin and end, I would have to remove the semicolon at the end of this line too. But for now, if, then we do this, else, and we're just adding another if statements. So hence the term nested if statement. Nested meaning one inside the other one. And I've got 6 if statements, although there are 7 levels. So we only need 7 minus 1 times to ask the question if the mark is below something. Because if I've asked 6 questions, then it cannot be but the last option. So in this case, the last one doesn't ask if it's bigger than or below 100. It simply assumes then the level must be 7. And we'll lastly display. So if I run this program, let me zoom out again and run. And now there's a mistake because I've started the case statement already. So let's just comment that out. And there's still too many ends over there. And I'm sorry about that. I don't know where this 8 comes from in my excitement. And finally, all right, here we go. Let me just bring the form over to your side. Okay, so over here, if I enter a mark of 55, we know that should be a level 4. So if I click the button, it displays 4. Let's be easy. 100 should be a level 7. That's correct. If I have 15, it should be a level 1. Okay, so what it does, it takes the number, let's say 68, and let me just scroll down here as well and compare that. So what happens is I press the button and it checks. Is it below 30? No, it's not. So I have to check again. Is it below or below 30, below 40? No. Let's check again. If it's below 50, no. Is it below 60? No. Is it below 70? Yes. And so eye level becomes 5 and it ends the if statements and will then display my thing. So it's not going to execute the remainder of the nested if. So if I press there, it displays level 5, this line, and that's it. Okay, so let's have a look at our case statement. So I'm going to press on the next button. And now I can remove my line of code over there and this end. Well, I'm going to delete this for now because we'll get to there just now. Okay, so again, very similar. We need to declare our variables and we initialize our iMark. Now, we can start with our case statement. The structure is as follows. We have the keyword case, iMark. So we are checking iMark. And then another keyword of. A case statement does not need to have a begin, but it does have an end. So that's very important. We don't need to encapsulate our code that we have between begin and end. The case statement itself assumes that there's a number of questions that we're going to ask. I want to highlight this, very important for iMark or for a case statement. The data type of a case statement, we cannot use string or a real value. It has to be a data type we call of ordinal type, and that is a whole number, which is an integer, or a character, which is a single, a single character. And then we're going to list our different options over here. So we can say here, smaller than 30, smaller than 40. So those we're simply going to list our option. Or what we can do is we can also have a range, 0 to 29. And then 30 to 39. So we're checking. So and then the case statement will check, okay, does my mark fall into the first category, into the second category? So we will repeat this 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79. And the range is always indicated with 2 single dots. And now we don't have to check. Similar to our nested if, we can say else over here. And then we don't have to have another range. Okay, but this is not it. There's a space in between. I don't know why. Then is a dot missing. I'm not sure why. Oh, because most probably I have not completed it yet. Okay, so if my mark is between 0 and 29, I'm going to have a colon over here. And now I can say eye level colon equals 1. Okay, so if it is in the first range, then I'm going to set eye level to 1. I'm just going to copy this because it's going to be a lot of the same code. Or I'm actually going to copy it with the colon over there. Copy. Okay. Level. This doesn't look neat now. We can make it neat just now. Let me do it like this. Okay, now it looks a little bit neater. Okay, so And now I'll simply change this to 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we can simply say else eye level is 7, and then there's an end, and then after this we can display our level. So PNL level panel dot caption colon equals int to string eye level. Right, and that's our case statement. So it is a summary of our nested ifs, and it immediately, without, it just assigns the levels to eye level, just like that. So things to remember or to take note of is that there's no begin, that we can have an else. We don't have to have an else, but we can add an else, and it's got an end. And then similar to our nested if statement, if I want more than one line to be executed here, then I can say begin. I'm going to do it like this. I can, for example, say, and you can see it already automatically adds an end over there. And I can now add here, show message you fail. So I can add more than one line of code as well, and then I have to encapsulate it with begin and end. So in terms of iMark and numbers, whole numbers, we can do ranges like that. I can also I just want to let you know, I can also do this, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. I could literally, name every possibility separated by a comma. They don't have to be adjacent. If I just want to check whether it's 0 or 4, I can do it like this. If it's a range, I will add the 2 dots. Or I can simply say below 30, which is all the same. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to keep it at that. If I have a character over there, then because a character is text, then let me I'm going to do it over here in a comment. Then we have to have single quotes, A, for example. And then we have the colon, and we say S level colon equals 7 or something like that. Okay, because an A symbol might correspond with level 7 in our Department of Education. All right, and that is a case statement. There's a little bit more to it. We can do calculations. We can add. This does not have to be just a display of values or initializing eye level. We can do a lot more, but as time progresses, we will cover that. So I'm going to run my program quickly. Yay, no mistake this time. And I'm going to bring over my form again. Over here, there we go. Zoom in again. I'm going to enter my mark 55. If I say nested if and level case, both will be 4. If I do 66 case, it will be a level 5. 80 will be level 7. If I select, let's say 8, and I select the nested if, it will say 1. But if I check case now, because we're displaying the level as well as the message that says you fail. So let's see what happens if I press the case statement. You fail. The message comes up that says you fail. And then it will display 1 as well. All right, guys, that concludes nested if and case statements.